welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies inspired it. And today on the show, it is one of our monthly trailer roundups. We've got Jason Harris from Awesome Movie here joining us, and we will talk about a bunch of movies instead of just one movie and try to guess some puzzle pieces just based off the trailers. And then we'll see. Maybe we'll cover some of these movies over the next month or two. So that's what's coming up today. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together. So that way you'll find out when we cover these movies. And when we get new episodes out, you'll get them as soon as they hit the feed. So make sure you are subscribed. Also, before we get to today's episode, we got to do some listener puzzle pieces. We got, we got a lot of pieces this month, just from a few people on a few episodes, though. Really just a couple episodes. But with that said, let's get to these listener puzzle pieces. First of all, Death of a Unicorn, we have from Josie DeMarco, Lake Placid, Arachnophobia, and Congo. And Congo is definitely one that was on my mind, which with the whole finding this cure with this creature kind of thing, but I hadn't thought of Arachnophobia or Lake Placid. Those both kind of fit in there really well too. So great ones there from Josie. The rest of what I got for this month are all for Sinners. Obviously, Sinners is on everybody's mind, and everybody's excited about Sinners. So we got a lot of puzzle pieces here. So we'll start off with Demetrius Sanders, who was at our live show. He mentioned The Thing, From Dusk Till Dawn, which we did talk about, Night of the Demons, Rosewood, Interview with the Vampire, and Death by Temptation. Death by Temptation was the one that he actually sent me the trailer, and God, I gotta watch that movie. It looks ridiculous. And then, of course, The Thing. I was also thinking we could have had like an entire section of the show talking about John Carpenter, but we ran out of time, so we didn't get to do that. But definitely lots of Carpenter in this movie. Then moving on to Sam Novak, who sent me in his puzzle pieces the night before we did our live show because he saw it at an earlier screening. VFW and Assault on Precinct 13. There's more Carpenter. The Hunger and Only Lovers Left Alive for vampires from different eras blending into society. Absolutely, that all fits in there really well. And From Dusk Till Dawn, he wasn't there, so of course we started off with that. And then Josie DeMarco again for Sinners mentioned Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat, Vampires in Havana, Beloved, and The Black Vampire, all of which are things I am not familiar with. So some good deep pulls from Josie DeMarco. So lots of great pieces there. Obviously, we could have went double the amount of time with Sinners. That was a very full movie to talk about. Lots of stuff to get into with that. But that's it for listener puzzle pieces. And now it's time to get to our May 2025 trailers. Jason Harris is back with us for another month of trailers. How's it going, Jason?
Dave, you might be able to tell from my voice, I'm a little under the weather, getting over it. But unlike last month, Dave, where I was just bored with the trailers, I'm excited for this month. So we're going to use that to propel me to better health, which of course doctors recommend good trailers to get over the flu.
Yeah, that always helps. I was going to say, I can't even tell that you're under the weather. I was going to say you sound more alive than last month. We were just like super depressed last month when we were recording, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. Well, that could be for a number of reasons. Yeah. State of the country, whatever. Let's focus on this, though.
Yeah, we got good things to look forward to. But first of all, we do have to look back to last month to see what we actually watched of the movies that we talked about. Starting off with The Friend, which I did not see. It looked fine. I didn't hear anybody talking about it. Did you see it?
I don't even remember what it was, Dave.
Big Dog, Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. Everyone says it's good. I do want to see that one.
Yeah, I would watch that one. That seems like an at-home watch. But the next movie is definitely an in-the-theater watch. It's a Minecraft movie, which we made fun of. And look what happened. It's the biggest movie of the year. Sometimes you just can't predict this stuff. I am actually feeling a little bit of FOMO for not having experienced the stupid, ridiculous, rowdy crowds. But at the same time, those people should stop because it's terrible what they did to those poor theaters. But,
bringing live chickens in and if you want to be a chicken jockey, that's not the way to get there.
Yeah, I'm in a Facebook group for movie theater owners. I just happened to have made my way into, and people were talking about they were throwing coffee at the screen. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I do like the idea for movie theaters of making something immersive,
Hmm.
and you're able to throw things at an area, but we got to prepare for that. So,
Exactly. Make it a special screening or whatnot and plan ahead. But yeah, huge movie though, and maybe I'll see it eventually. Freaky Tales, I haven't seen yet. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I really want to see this one.
yeah, I mean, has it come out here? Did it come
It
out?
came out this past last weekend, and yeah, it's not making a lot of noise, but everyone who does see it seems to really like it.
It looks like a lot of fun. I'm definitely interested still.
Warfare was our most recent episode of Piecing It Together at the time of this recording, and is very good. I did see that in the theater. Alex Garland's latest. Did you see it?
Not yet, but I will. It's Alex Garland.
Yeah, exactly. Drop came out at the same time. I have not gotten a chance to see that one yet. I'm hearing it's fine, not anything special, but pretty fun though.
Shot entirely in Ireland, or
Interesting.
mostly. So
I did not know that.
that's my answer to that.
Wow. The King of Kings was up next. Our regular Angel Studios movie. It you know, it looked like it would be fine for the people who like those movies. So
I was driving to my show on Easter, and a cop pulled me over and gave me a speeding ticket. Like, where's your Easter spirit, guy? Huh?
yeah, come on.
Just give me a warning. Be like, hey, dude, chill it out. So
Sneaks was up next, which again, another one of these movies that comes and goes. Nobody spoke about. It is out in theaters right now, and I thought it looked kind of fun. You thought
yeah,
it
I
was
didn't think
stupid,
it looked good, but I feel like maybe this is one that would have been better as a straight to a streamer type thing.
possibly. Next up was Sinners, which I did do a live show on. It's another big hit of the year so far. I thought it was really good. Did you get to Sinners yet?
Yeah, so obviously this was probably the top thing I wanted to see last month, but as it came out, that's when I kind of got under the weather. So that's
Mm,
part of the reason I haven't really seen anything this
yeah.
past month of the new stuff. But I know most people really like it, and I really do want to get to it. So
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's definitely good. Next up was Cheech and Chong's last movie, which I didn't realize when I put it on the list last month. That was a limited release, the 420 thing, and it's actually coming out in like a week or two in more wide release. So we have not had a chance to see that one, obviously.
no.
Moving
But
on to Bullet Train Explosion, which is on Netflix. I think it just came out today, so I obviously have not gotten a chance to see that. I know you haven't either. And The Accountant 2, which I'm going to see after we're done recording today.
I hope The Accountant 2 is really good. I'm excited for Bullet Train Explosion. There's also that Tom Hardy action movie that came out yesterday on Netflix. So good
Yeah.
weekend if you don't have friends.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's go to our new month of trailers, starting with Another Simple Favor, which will be on Prime on May 1st. This is, of course, the reunion of Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively and a sequel from Paul Feig, which I like the original. I don't know why this is a streaming movie all of a sudden.
Like I had seen these quotes from Paul Feig where he's like, "Look, we have these characters. We're gonna change genres and play around with it." And I know it did well, but did it really find its place via streaming, right? And then
I
they
guess, yeah.
knives out did it or whatever,
Sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is going to be, a lot of these streaming movies, they come and go. I feel like this one could be something people are into. But then again, you never know with Blake Lively. You know how the internet loves to pile on once they start with the controversy and all
she
that shit.
seems. I mean, this has a brand awareness, and also, she has her fans, and Anna Kendrick is, what's the only thing you could say about her is like, hey, dude, don't do as many Trolls movies because you're so talented. We want to see you do other things, right? She
Yeah.
just nails
Yeah.
it all the time. So, puzzle pieces for me. This one's there's nefarious activities in a beautiful Italian location that took me right to the talented Mr. Ripley.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Person gets out of jail, wants to exact revenge on, the people who put him there. I put Cape Fear down for that one right there.
Nice.
And then, kind of this geography porn. I went with Before Midnight. You can do whatever you want there. And
Yeah.
also, Dave, I'm never going to see a beautiful Italian beach area and not say Italone.
Hello, honey. Very good, very good. Yeah, Talented Mr. Ripley was the first one I went to as well. Cape Fear, that's a really good pull there. That definitely does feel like what this is going for. And then, even though it's not a supernatural movie whatsoever, I was also thinking of Death Becomes Her, just as far as like women who are friends but are also like at each other's throats, and so it just kind of felt like that kind of a vibe going on. But
Women.
yeah, that's what they do.
What the heck, guys?
That is what they do. Next up is The Surfer, which will be in theaters May 2nd. This is Nick Cage as a surfer who just wants to enjoy the beach with his kid, but these shitty townies start terrorizing him until they, of course, are going to push him too far, and we get Nick Cage going nuts, which that's what we want, isn't it?
Bro, I just want to hug this movie. I love it. So
Yeah.
this trailer made me so happy. I'm so excited. It's this like paranoid kind of slow boil thriller. I'm going to recommend a book to everyone out there. Dave, you don't have to listen because I know
Yes.
you hate that. I read this book, Barbarian Days, last year, which is amazing. It's the author, I think it's William Finnegan who wrote it. He basically was a surfer, like fell in love with surfing in the 60s, and then he just dropped out of society in the 70s and chased waves for like 20 years. So
Nice.
it's all about his, kind of adventures around the world. I'm very excited that 100 Foot Waves is coming back on Max. I love that documentary series. I'm big into like, I don't surf, but I love kind of watching things about surf culture. I think it's really unique and fun. So this movie I'm really pumped up about. This takes place in Australia, a small town, I think, right? So,
Yeah.
Australian small town kind of bullying aspect brings me back to The Dry, which I do like, as we have talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
before. There's definitely that like kind of like everyone in the town knows what's going on, but you don't, and we're all going to band together against you, which kind of brought me to Infinity Pool, which is a little different, but
Mhm.
there is that feeling of like us against them. And then lastly, Dave, I mean, this has Straw Dogs written all over it,
Sure.
and I love Straw Dogs. So
Yeah, I had a feeling you would bring Straw Dogs up. That's definitely a good one to include here. I had a movie that I know for a fact was inspired by Straw Dogs, and that's Eden Lake from James Watkins, the guy who made the Speak No Evil remake last year, which was surprisingly good. But Eden Lake's another of those kind of movies where people in a small town on vacation and the townies just start terrorizing them. It's really good, really effective movie. And then I put Mandy. I mean, it's another Nick Cage goes crazy movie, but it does feel like that's kind of the vibe they're going for here, where once it's going to slow burn, and then once it goes, it's just going to go to 100 like immediately, and that's exciting. So I'm very much looking
this
forward to that
definitely
one.
is one that we watch and like, oh, they made a movie for us.
Yeah, exactly. So next up, on May 2nd, will be in limited release and VOD at the same time. It is Rust. This is, of course, the movie that infamously Alec Baldwin was handed a gun that had rounds in it and ended up killing the cinematographer, Helena Hutchins. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. But, it looks like a pretty standard Western. And, despite everything that happened, it could be all right. But it's definitely going to have that cloud over it, regardless of
I think
whether it's
that's it.
good.
I mean, that tragedy is so, so it should have obviously never happened and is such a bummer. And like you watch the trailer and it's a good trailer, but you can't get that out of your mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so he comes into town, messes people up to rescue someone. I mean, it's a riff off of Unforgiven, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
not necessarily the exact same thing there. And then the idea of just a dude mowing down everyone in his path to bring a youngster to safety, shall we say, that took me to The Searchers.
Okay, yeah, that fits really well. I went with True Grit for mine of that. The outlaw gristle dude with his younger family member, who's in that case a girl, in this case a guy. But either way, Unforgiven was the just general Western that I kind of threw in there. But you could go with a lot of different ones that have similar setups and similar vibes. But yeah, I mean, it looks fine. We'll see if it's anything worthwhile once it actually comes out. Next up is Fight or Flight, which will be in theaters May 9th. And it seems like we get one of these every month, but I think this one looks great. This is Josh Hartnett on a plane full of bad guys, and it's just going to be another ultra violent, closed quarters action movie with a bunch of jokes and a bunch of, gnarly deaths. I think it looks great.
Yeah, it looks super fun. I mean, obviously the big thing is like, can you sustain this
Sure.
for the whole time, right? So, last year, Carry On was pretty okay as a Christmas, like take a break from your Christmas movies, right? And that was more airport than, airplane focused.
Yeah.
You and I covered Kill, I think,
Uh-huh.
last year, right? And that was all on a train, and you can pick any one of those train movies that you want for that type of thing, the single location ones. And then, of course, a plane full of killers. You come back to Con Air,
Yes,
which
absolutely.
still, as us Vegas locals will tell you, that chase scene is maddening because you can't get to the Hard Rock from Fremont Street or the Strip from either of them as quickly. It was a wild route, but still a fun
Yeah.
movie. So,
Filmmakers just do not care about the geography of Las Vegas.
how
It is
dare
true.
they?
Yeah, yeah. I should rewatch Con Air, but I definitely shouldn't rewatch it right before Fight or Flight because I think it's gonna be a kind of a different level of movie. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Kill was on my list, which, like you said, we talked about last year. Bullet Train is the train
Sure.
movie, But yeah, a lot of these kind of things, they all have a similar vibe, but are usually fun. So I'm looking forward to
And
it.
also, Josh Hartnett's back. So,
Yes,
he
exactly.
he took a few years off, it seemed like, and now he's coming back. And but this genre is really it's I was thinking about it while I was watching the trailer. Like this, is that it's the big screen version of like the 80s straight to video stuff. And like it's kind of fun that it's become such a popular genre.
Absolutely. So next up is Clown in a Cornfield, which will be in theaters May 9th. And honestly, when I put this one on the list, I just thought it was like some low budget schlock that, I saw a lot of people going nuts about it in like the horror communities, but I didn't think it was like, a movie that's going to have like a whole theatrical release and like a whole fan base and all that kind of stuff. But it actually is like a really popular book, and it's directed by the director of Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I mean, seems like it's actually a movie that's going to be pushed and not just some small little horror
It
movie.
has the best title of the month, that's for sure.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I saw once I saw you, I didn't know it before we looked at the trailer list, and I figured this was like our Screamboat or something
Right,
like
right.
that, right? So, but yeah, it's like you were saying, it's a little bigger budget, and it seems like it's tracking already, so that's nice.
I,
So
I think it'll be fun.
yeah, I like this. These are those kind of fun, campy ones. Obviously, you go into the middle of nowhere and there's a bad guy chasing you. That's right away Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me. I
Hmm.
mean, you could pick any clown horror movie you want. Obviously, It or
Yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space would probably be there. And then I also thought like the kind of the folklore of the whole thing brought me to Blair Witch and Thanksgiving, which is steeped in the lore of the bad guy type feeling.
Yeah, I actually did put Thanksgiving as well, not because of the lore, but just because of the very self-referential horror fans making a horror movie that is like all of the tropes are just right there, and they're just not shying away from any of it whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a better answer. That's why I put it there too.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, it is super obvious. The other one I wanted to throw in there is No Country for Old Men because the clown's
Friendo.
friend name is Friendo. Yeah, so there
That's
you
so
go.
funny. Yeah, I am glad you brought that up because there's that kind of scroll. Is it on the screen? The text says "friend" or "friendo." And
Yes,
that's funny.
good
So
stuff. Good
yeah,
stuff. Next up is Final Destination's Bloodlines in theaters May 16th. This franchise had 5 movies and then they stopped in 2011, which is kind of crazy that there's not like another dozen direct to video ones or anything like that. But I think people are super psyched for this return of this series.
I always complain, Dave, about like when they like take old songs and mash them up because they do it so terribly. But
Yeah.
this one is so catchy. Every time I watch this trailer, it gets in my head. You got to roll with me, roll, roll. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, the idea is, and this is just a whole new group of people, right? There's no connective tissue,
I
right?
think there's one girl who is like older. She's like in her 50s, but she was like a 20-year-old in the original or something like that. I'm not sure about that because I wasn't a big fan of the originals.
Yeah. So this is like basically the idea is that this woman was able to have a vision back in the day, and she was able to get people out of the way from dying. And now, years later, the whatever death is coming to them because they weren't supposed to exist at all. And you can't cheat death, or you can only cheat it for so long, right? So to me, obviously, the idea of like rebooting something and bringing back like that character that you're talking about, that's Halloween. We know that, right?
Sure.
The vision aspect took me to another Nicolas Cage end of the world movie, Knowing, which
Yeah.
is, full of murders. Maybe this isn't the end of the world. But then this idea of, hey, you have to give death or the entity whatever you want. That's like all Yellow Jackets is. This whole season of Yellow Jackets is
Hmm.
really that. So I went with those three things.
Right on. Yeah, I had trouble with this one, and I'm sure if I do an episode, I'll have trouble too, because all I could think of are things that are inspired by Final Destination in the first place. So,
You're a
you
dog
know,
eating its own tail.
that's what it is. So I got It Follows, Smile, Saw, and this year's The Monkey. All of them fit very well, but I don't know if this will do something different or unique, but it looks like it's got some pretty awesome kills. So that should be enough to make this one pretty fun. So. Next up is Lilo and Stitch in theaters May 23rd. And I don't know if you saw the rumors that Disney is slowing down on live action remakes because of the failure of Snow White. So this could be the last one of that whole just nonstop remaking everything live action. But I don't know. I know we aren't supposed to like these movies, but I don't know. I think this looks kind of fun, mainly because I just like silly creatures. But it's a remake of a Disney movie.
The best thing you said in that whole thing was that they might be slowing down. So
I think they're gonna.
I
So
mean, I like Lilo and Stitch. I thought that was a fun animated movie,
I've
right?
actually never seen it, by the way.
It's good. You should see it, but
Yeah.
meh,
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
how I feel about all these pretty much. So, I don't like them. I don't know, man. I'm not excited for it at all. Alien comes to Earth, not supposed to be there. Alf, E.T. Pet
Mm-hmm.
tears up the house, but family loves it. Beethoven. Aliens in disguise as humans, Men in Black. That's my pieces. Yay.
Very good. I had E.T. I had Clifford the Big Red Dog instead of Beethoven. So, uh, yeah, we know exactly what to expect. It'll be interesting to see if this turns the course or if they really do stop making these things. So we'll see. So we were gonna do Fear Street Prom Queen, but we're gonna skip it because there's not really a trailer. It's just like someone talking for 20 seconds.
That's the
So
new thing. I mean, that's
yeah.
we have Friendship that's coming out this month, and I watched one of their trailers. They have like a normal trailer, and then they have a trailer where it's just Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson and the director and an interviewer sitting in the dark talking to each other.
Well, I'll watch that because that's probably at least funny. This was nothing. So, Karate Kids Legends is what we'll go to next, which will be in theaters May 30th. Which I never watched the Cobra Kai series, but then again, I was never even a fan really of the Karate Kid movies in the first place. I'm sure I saw them once in the 80s, but that's about it. But Ralph Macchio's back, Jackie Chan's in it, Joshua Jackson, Ben Wang is the new Karate Kid, and it looks fine. This one's just not for me.
Did you not rewatch Karate Kid when we did it on Awesome Movie Year?
I think that was in the first couple of seasons when I still wasn't.
1984. So
Yeah, I wasn't quite watching everything that you guys talked about yet. So no, I
Karate
did
Kid
not.
is awesome. I love that movie so much. I've watched it. I probably more than 10 times in my life at least.
Nice.
I'm 2 seasons behind on Cobra Kai. Like I really like that show, but I kind of just was like, how long can we stretch this thing? But now that I've taken this break and this movie's coming out, I think I'll probably finish it off. Right. So remember the last Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, which was terrible. And
Yeah.
then instead of wax on, wax off, they had jacket on, jacket off, and no one apparently thought
Wow.
that jacket off was a bad thing to have. But whatever, who cares? This looks fine, like you said.
Yeah.
Uh New Yorker getting bullied, or finds some power to kind of save himself and others. That's Spider-Man right there. You got the idea of needing to train to win the tournament. I'm always going to go with Bloodsport for that. And last but not least, the idea of teaming up heroes from this version of a universe and that version of a universe. You could do Avengers, you could do the Expendables, you could do any of those things.
Sure, that all works really well. I went for that same idea. I went with Ghostbusters Afterlife and its sequel, which both bring back the original Ghostbusters and give you a whole new team of them. And then I also went with Creed as far as like training the next
The band?
generation. Yes, absolutely, the band Creed. Uh, Rocky. But
What's this life
anyway,
for?
yeah, good
Can you
stuff.
take them higher?
I yeah. I should do a Creed style Pup Pup song. That would be fun. Anyway,
That
Pup
talk about
Pups.
something I never want to hear.
The Pup Pups coming out May 9th, by the way.
How
The
many
new
is that?
Pup Pups.
5 now?
That's the fourth one. Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can get a fifth in while Harvey's still with us. He's going through it, but we'll
Are they
see.
selling well, Dave?
They're selling pretty damn good, actually. Better than my instrumental music.
That's
So
good. You making the
yeah.
money off of it?
I don't make money. I make my money back. So
Well, that's good. Hey, you're
Yeah.
breaking even off of it.
Exactly.
So,
Never
man,
break even on David Rosen stuff. I break even on the Pup Pups, though.
yeah,
So,
your fans are so stupid, aren't they?
Everybody's stupid. I mean, that's what.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Karate Kid. I don't know. I'm just not that interested, but I'll probably see it. So, Bring Her Back is up next, May 30th in theaters. This is the new movie from the directors of Talk to Her, which everybody loved. Like that was like a major indie hit, and I was a little lukewarm on it, but this does look very creepy. Although speaking of the Pup Pups and pets in general, I was really bummed. The first teaser really made it look like it was going to be about bringing a cat back to life, and I thought it was going to be like an indie A24 Pet Cemetery style remake. But the second trailer came out, and it's just a person, so that makes me less
Yeah.
interested.
What a
But
bunch of idiots.
yeah, who would
You
want
could
to
have
bring
brought it
back a
back.
human?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Bringing a cat back to life, Dave. Well, we know about what was the movie you picked in awesome movie year? The
What
cat.
was the Eye of the Cat? Is that what it was
Yeah,
called?
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I'm all for going down that road of like bringing a cat back to life that terrorizes everyone. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, this trailer looks really creepy and effective and was a tough one to kind of place, which is great. That's what I want from trailers. Like,
Sure.
let me,
Especially horror, because we get so many horror movies. So to do something a little different is nice.
Yeah, so there's a spirit inside of this person that's terrorizing them or whatever, and they're trying to bring that spirit back to life. Is that what I'm
I
to
think
understand?
so. I believe so.
Right. So we're doing an exorcism of some type, right? So you go exorcism of Emily Rose. And then I thought at this, we mentioned Alex Garland earlier. This brought me back to devs because of doing whatever it takes to bring someone back.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at that. I like that a lot. Um, I went. So first of all, I haven't seen this movie, but I remember when it came out, it looked pretty good. The Lazarus Effect with Mark Duplass and Olivia Wilde, Donald Glover. It was a horror movie about bringing people back with this like crazy procedure, and of course goes very wrong, and unlocks things that really shouldn't be. So it feels like a lot like that. And then I know this is the most obvious thing in the world, but it does look a lot like Talk to Her without the party game aspect of it. It seems like they're just dealing with a different version of the same kind of concept, the same basic thing. So I put that on my list as well. But yeah, I mean, I have a feeling this one's gonna probably make a lot of noise when it comes out, so we will see. Our last main one for the month will be on Max on May 31st. This is Mountainhead, which is from the creator of Succession and stars Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Corey Michael Smith, and Rami Youssef as four billionaires who go on a retreat together in the mountains, and then some shit breaks off back in civilization, and everything is like going to hell while they're just in their little comfort place, and it looks pretty fun.
Who better than Jesse Armstrong, right, to do
Yeah.
something like this? So, I mean, beautiful location and, four actors just that they're going to be going at it. This is like, this is Succession right here. So,
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to watch it. I love Succession. The last season was tough for me to get through because one of the main characters died, and that like literally happened right after my mom died. So I was
Mm.
just not ready for it. But I love the show, and the ending still, very effective. I feel like, this kind of this brought me to another project by another person associated with Succession, which was the menu, right? And seeing everything that the 1% does and what they can and can't get away with. And then the other one I thought of was, it seems like they're in this remote mountain retreat, and as they are, even though they probably helped cause it, the world is falling apart and they're away in their own kind of safe space. And that took me to Leave the World Behind, which I thought was a pretty effective movie when it came out.
I still haven't seen that. I remember a lot of people really hated it, but then some people like you like thought it was really effective. I
Yeah, I
do want to
liked it.
watch
I
that.
didn't love it, but it was
Yeah,
it was cool. So I don't
right
know what
on.
there is to hate about it, but all
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
it looked good to me, but I just never got to it. But yeah, I feel like we've gotten so many movies that we could say are probably inspired by the menu or at least similar to the menu. And this one at least looks like it does something different with the idea of, these rich people and their, out of touchness. But I went with This Is the End. It feels like a highbrow version of that. Like, instead of just a bunch of idiots being holed up in a mansion uh, because they're just rich actors. In this case, it's billionaire tech people. So I felt like that, and then I was wondering if shit really is happening back in civilization, or if their technology is just kind of lying to them, since that's the only way they're even knowing about it. So I was thinking of 10 Cloverfield Lane as far as the possibility that they're stuck in their safety, but there's really nothing happening outside, and whether or not it is or not. So, I don't know. We'll see, but it looks really good. And like you said, I mean, I think everybody's made the comparisons to Succession. It like does feel like it's a, obvious,
Let's get it.
companion piece.
I'm
Yeah,
fine with that. So
absolutely. So, yeah, we got some other big ones in May. First of all, we'll be doing a live show on May 1st for Thunderbolts at Downtown Cinemas. So that one should be a fun show, even though Marvel hasn't really had a lot of hits lately.
I really
But
feel like they're really trying too hard to push this thing to like, hey, look at how cool it is, right?
yeah,
So don't get me wrong, I do like the use of starships. If we can build this thing
I feel like
together.
six other movies have done that already, though. So I don't know.
Yes. Oh, Marvel being derivative of something else. What a shock. So
Yeah, can you
yeah, no,
imagine?
I mean they really just need a break. But I mean,
Yeah,
what do I know? So,
yeah,
they made some money this year.
yeah. They absolutely did. And then none of these are confirmed yet, but I have been talking with theaters about Friendship, Hurry Up Tomorrow, and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, which I'm excited for all three of those movies. Are those ones that you're psyched for?
I mean, we like the Mission Impossible series a lot, so I'm going to say yes to that one. Friendship, dude, Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd, like what more could you want on out of that? As
It looks so funny.
I can't wait for that. And tell me about Hurry Up Tomorrow.
This is the Weeknd's movie
Oh
that
yeah, I'm not
he
excited
wrote.
for that at all.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the most obnoxious, self-centered bullshit, but I'm here for it. I can't
It's
wait.
just
So,
funny that like, that TV show of his did so terribly and everyone said he was so bad and then they're like, we'll just greenlight his movie
yeah,
instead. So,
let's give him a movie for sure. So, and I think Trey Edward Schultz co-directed it with him, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to look it
who's
up.
that guy?
Yeah, he did Waves. He did Krisha. Also, It Comes at Night. I really like everything he's done so far. So if he has to do with this, which yes, he did. He co-directed this with The Weeknd. So I don't know. It's going to be ridiculous, but I can't wait. So yeah, that's our lineup for May. So Jason, is there a movie you watched recently you want to recommend to our listeners?
Yeah, Dave, we're in 1941, an awesome movie year. So, which is an awesome movie year. That is no doubt about it. When we were doing Citizen Kane, which I shouldn't have to recommend to anyone because everyone's probably seen that, I hope, which is great. I was rewatching, some other Orson Welles stuff, and I rewatched The Third Man. That movie is incredible. I highly recommend The Third Man, one of the best, if not the best, noir movies that there ever has been. And then, Dave, I got to shout you out because you picked Abbott and Costello, Hold That Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's delightful. I had
Oh,
such a fun time watching that movie. What a great pick.
I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, I will talk about it when we do the show, but I definitely watched a bunch of Abbott and Costello with my dad when I was in like high school, and I don't know which one, so I'm not 100% sure if I've seen it, but whatever I watched, I always used to like, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm obviously I know who was on first, and I know about Abbott and Costello, but I think this is the first movie of theirs I've watched, and I just had such a pleasant experience with it. So good on you, bro.
All right, very good. Well, Jason, aside from Awesome Movie Year, what else do you want to plug?
Dave, my residency at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club is back. We're on every Sunday night at 6 p.m., so I hope people will come out to that. We have Eat This Comedy May 1st at Metro Pizza in the Northwest and May 15th at Aroma Latin American Cocina in Henderson, and that place is amazing. Obviously, Metro is amazing. You guys should come check those out. That's all. I got trivia nights Tuesday and Wednesday. Come see those. Come hang out. Come play.
Awesome. Once I'm done scoring these films that I'm scoring back to back, I'm coming out to use my free chips that I won at your.
Yeah, you guys, they won funniest team name. What was the name that you had?
Oh God, now I'm drawing a blank. It was
It was something involving the idea of trivia or quiz or something like that.
Yeah,
it was smart.
Shit.
So.
Anyway, yeah,
Well,
it was funny at the time, I'm sure.
Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Jason, as always, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you again soon. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about some of the movies coming in May 2025. Thank you to Jason Harris for joining me on that one. Thank you to all of you for listening. Make sure you're subscribed. Also, you can follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. Join the Facebook group Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces. We got a bunch of live shows on the way, so make sure you are following along. Get entered to win some tickets. We hope to see you out at those live shows and lots of other fun stuff coming to Piecing It Together in the next month or two. So keep an eye out and make sure you're subscribed. But with that said, we're going to close this out with a piece of music like I always do. And, this is coming out on the day of our album listening party for the new The Pup Pups album. Another one already, but you just had one. The Pup Pups is my comedy rock group with my pets, where I sing these ridiculous, silly songs about dogs and cats and all the silly, fun things that they do. The new album comes out next Friday, and there will be a commentary track special episode hitting the Piecing It Together feed. But again, tonight on Bandcamp, thepuppups.bandcamp.com, there will be an album listening party, which I hope you'll join me if you happen to be listening to this on the day it comes out. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we are talking the Pup Pups, so we got to close this out with a piece of music from the Pup Pups. And let's see, what should I go with from the new The Pup Pups album? Another one already, but you just had one, which will be out next Friday, and which has a listening party tonight. I'm going to go with the song... I am going to go with Wolf Dog. This is a song about the first ever meeting of dogs and humans, which of course are Harvey and me. And we are singing by the campfire about how just wonderful it is to just be hanging out and eating snacks and singing songs. So this is Wolf Dog from the new album. Another one already, but you just had one. And I hope you'll join us for the listening party tonight and check out the full album next week. And we'll be back with another Piecing It Together real soon. Sitting by the fire with a wolf. Sitting by the fire. Sitting by the fire. Sitting by the fire, next to a wolf. By the fire with a wolf. Down by the fire, sitting by the fire. Sitting by the fire, sitting by a wolf. Dog. Sitting by the fire on a beautiful night. There's a chill in the air and everything is alright. I'm sitting by the fire. I see a fluffy little monster and he's looking at me. By the fire, sitting by the fire, sitting by the fire, next to a wolf. By the fire with a wolf. By the fire, sitting by the fire.
bonfire light. That guy singing songs looks like he got treats. Maybe I should go over and take a look-see. Sitting by the fire on this fateful night when humans and dogs became friends for life.
Sitting by the fire with the snacks and brews, me and my new monster friend, he is so cute.
Sitting by the fire with my human friend. Everything is perfect, hope it never ends.
Sitting by the fire in this beautiful place, I hope that this little creature doesn't eat my face. By the fire, sitting by the fire, sitting by the fire, next to by the fire, sitting by the fire, sitting by the fire, sitting by the sitting by the fire, sitting by the fire, sitting by the fire, next to by the fire with a wolf, 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 dog.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.